Hello everyone, thank you for joining us at the Spurs News. Today we're going to be talking about the headlines as follows. With the headlines, we start. Who's the next Christian Eriksen that will join our team? And who's a Madrid outcast that's on our radar? And Mourinho believes this player can play in any position on the field. Let's get to it. Jose Mourinho believes this player is one of the best that we've had. He commented a lot about his efforts and his way of thinking on and off the field. It is Eric Lamela. He has been with the club for around 7 years now, and his deal is almost up. Do you think he will renew it or not? I think that Eric Lamela will come out flying at the beginning of this season to show that he will, or he is, up for the challenge and would want to stay with the club a little bit longer. At the Spurs News, we think he deserves a new deal and he should stay with the club until he retires. He has been with the club for around 10 years. We had brought you a report about this player and defender. His name is Lewis Dunk. He plays for Brighton, of course, all of you know. He is one of the tallest and biggest players. I think Mourinho has described him as a beast before, but he signed a new deal with his current club. So all these were gossips, and we didn't think that he would join our team anyways. But this is an update for you all to know that Lewis Dunk is not a possibility right now because he just signed a new deal with his club. Who is the new Christian Eriksen? A lot of you might be questioning that. A lot of reports have come out saying that this player is going to be the new Christian Eriksen. Now, we've talked about him multiple times on this channel. Is Philippe Coutinho. Philippe Coutinho has proved that he's one of the greatest players in the latest games that he played in the Champions League, namely against his club, Barcelona. Now, the deal would include, or whoever is interested in taking Coutinho would have to pay £8 million for Barcelona for the loan deal, plus the wages of the player, which are not something that's small. It's between 220 and 240k per week. I don't know how reasonable that is, or how possible a deal could be because we don't pay these kind of salaries for players. And namely, we only have Harry Kane on such a huge salary, but now because of the loan deal and it's only 8 million, I think Daniel Levy could take a risk and try to bring him in and maybe make that deal permanent after a year or two. Now let me know what you think. A lot of reports saying this could be the missing jewel in the crown for Daniel Levy. At the Spurs News, we think if this is the only fee is only 8 million and his wages that we could maybe negotiate down, then I would consider such a deal. And I think Philippe Coutinho is worth it, especially after that great performance he had put in against Barcelona. Most of you might know that all of the players are for sale at Barcelona, but this player is in his last year and he could be for sale for a cheap price or nominal price. His name is Ivan Rakitic. Rakitic is not a young player anymore. He's 33 years of age now, and I don't think that we would need him at the Spurs. So I don't think we should sign him at the Spurs News. We think this is a person we shouldn't sign. Now, I know he's a player of quality, but unless he comes in for free like Joe Hart did, then I'm against such a deal. Let me know what you think. Madrid's outcast is not a secret to anybody. It's one of their best players, was one of their best players, but Zidane doesn't believe in him, Zidane doesn't like him, and it's James Rodriguez. James Rodriguez would need to find a new club as soon as possible because he will not be considered in one of the team's first team choices. So James Rodriguez would be available on the cheap, and I think this is a deal that would be phenomenal for any club, namely for us, because we need a creative player like him that could sub or replace Ali and motivate Ali to perform a lot better. Now Ali is sometimes performing below par because he doesn't have enough competition for his position. So I think this is a deal I would approve, and especially that could be cheap, around 15 million or less. Now, if it's more than that, of course, we don't approve of it, and I don't think it should be happening. Now, Kevin Phillips has been talking a lot recently, and he came out and said that Callum Wilson should not come or should not go to Spurs because he would lose his team in the Three Lions. Now, of course, because he's not going to be starting any game, I don't believe, unless Jose Mourinho wants to play with two forwards, which is going to be very difficult given the fact that he has a lot of talent in midfield and on the wings. So, that being said, we don't believe that Callum Wilson should listen to Kevin Phillips. If he does, then let Kevin Phillips pay his salary for the next couple of years, or let Kevin Phillips ensure him that he will be in the English national team if he plays in the championship. So either way, he's not going to be in the Three Lions plans if he plays in the championship. So we would, at the Spurs news, if Callum Wilson is concerned about the Three Lions position, then we think he shouldn't sign for us. But if he is here to help the team, then we will welcome him with open arms. Kevin Phillips doesn't stop talking, and he's talking now about one of his former teammates, Zaha. Now, Zaha is a great talent. We've spoken about him a lot, but a lot of teams are interested in him, and namely Everton. Everton have a lot of money, especially after that Moshiri investment, Iranian guy. So he could be sold for around 70 million. Now, if that's true, then we don't approve of that deal. If he's going to be available for around 30 million, which Zaha wants to move to London, according to Kevin Phillips, of course. He says that Zaha likes to stay in London. So the potential suitors for him would be either Arsenal or us, and I would do anything to bring him into the club because he has a lot of talent and a lot of dribbling skills. Zaha has scored 57 goals in 362 games in the Premier League. Phillips is still talking, and he's saying that he would be surprised. He's not surprised by this interest from City for one of our players, but he would be stunned or he would be shocked if Daniel Levy would agree to sell to one of his rivals. Now, because Harry Winks is one of our brightest talents, I think, and he has an accuracy of around 91% for passing in the last year. So I don't see Daniel Levy selling to a rival, but money talks at the end of the day, and the COVID had a big impact on the club. So if the amount is right, I think Daniel Levy could be looking to sell. So let's see what happens. But I don't approve of that deal, even if a higher amount is being talked about. The player that Mourinho believes that can play in every position on the field is Kimmich. And Kimmich had proved that because he had played in the midfield, played right back, played left back, and now he's playing as a right back, and he helped structure the demolition of Barcelona in the latest Champions League game. So we think Kimmich is one of the best players. I did want to talk about him. He's out of reach, and I don't think Bayern Munich would sell him for any price. And I agree with him. So if he was to be available, I would urge Daniel Levy to buy him for any price possible. But again, some players are not for sale, and some players are just meant to be for these kind of clubs. Hugo Lloris gave an interview to the Spurs official website, and he was talking about how the mentality has changed after Mourinho has come in. He's saying that Mourinho has brought in the winning mentality and the focus on it. He said previously the focus wasn't on the winning mentality, and now everybody understands that. Now everybody knows what is required or what is being looked at for them to develop and become one of the best teams in Europe. Now, I would agree. I've heard this multiple times from other players as well. So I hope that motivates them and helps them win a league or some kind of cup that we've been waiting for many years. Whelan is a former Leeds striker. He thinks that this youngster that we've signed for 30 million will be worth 50 million easy in a few years, because if he is given the opportunity at Spurs by Mourinho, he could be playing left back or right or left mid. So depends on what the plan Jose Mourinho has for him, but I think Mourinho would ideally like him to play as a left back to replace Ben Davis, as Ben Davis is aging and we don't have a great left back yet, but I think he needs a lot of training to be able to replace Ben Davis in that position without making mistakes or being hungry to go forward without tracking back as soon as possible. Now we are interested in one of the forwards in the Spanish Liga, and this person is from Real Betis. Real Betis are interested in selling him because of the COVID impact. They had put on this player 45 almost million pound release clause, but today they are ready to sell him for less than half of that, and they have rejected a bid for him for around 11 million by an undisclosed club. Now I think if we go in for around 15 or 16 million, they could be tempted to sell, and his name is Loren Moreno, is one of the talents that we could be bringing in as a backup for Harry Kane. A lot of people are urging Daniel Levy and Mourinho to sign at least 3 more players. Now the 3 more players we've talked about many times. We're talking about a lot of positions at the club, but right back namely, and another attacking midfielder and 1 forward. Now these are the three positions I'm thinking that we should sign, but Daniel Levy has to make these signings if they are going to happen. Now Daniel Levy does leave the window pretty late. This is common, and that's how he gets gets a lot of the great deals. Anyways, that being said, we have to understand that the market is going to be different this year, and Daniel Levy could be having a couple of deals or something to pull out at the last day. So let's see and wait. But I hope that he's going to sign the right players for the team. Finally, before we let you go here, Aurier is going to sign for Milan for about 18 million. According to this report, there is a fee that has been agreed. So let's see and hope that this deal does go through so we can use that money to get Şilik, the Turkish player that we have talked about from the French League M, and he would be available as soon as we have the funds. So thank you for watching the Spurs news. Like, subscribe, and comment, and let us know what we can do to improve the channel. Let's spur our way to glory.